What's up, YouTube? So today we're going to be taking a look at an RTA, and I did purchase this RTA for the purpose of this review. So this particular RTA has been out for a little bit of time now, and I wanted to wait to do the review because I really wanted to test this. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about this RTA, so I wanted to see if all these good things were true. The RTA we're talking about is the Azeroth RTA by CoilArt. 24mm RTA, holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid, available in all sorts of different colors. This is the rainbow edition here. This RTA sells for $33.95 at RMVapes, and it is currently in stock. So right now I got it sitting at 80 watts. Let's have a vape. So enough said, let's dive down to the table and take a closer look at the Azeroth RTA by CoilArt. Alright, here is the packaging the Azeroth RTA comes in. Inside the packaging, you get the Azeroth RTA. You get a spare glass section. You get a gold-plated Velocity style building deck. You get a baggie with some O-rings and 4 grub screws for the Velocity deck and 4 grub screws for the triple coil deck. You get this tri-tool. You get a Delrin chuff cap that you can also use your 510 drip tips in, but with 510 drip tip in here, it just looks really, really goofy. You get a CoilArt vape band, and depending on the color of the tank, I guess depends on the color of the band you get. And last but not least, you get this little CoilArt card. Alright, and here is the Azeroth RTA. So it's available in a bunch of different colors. This is the heat-treated version. It comes pre-installed with a gold-plated 3-coil build deck. It has 3 bottom airflow ports, and the ports measure 9.3 millimeters by 2.25 millimeters. The AFC does stop in both directions. You have nice knurling, as you can see on the AFC here. One thing this tank does not have is any juice flow control, but that has yet to be an issue with this tank. I've had no leaking or anything of that nature. Here is the base of the RTA. It says Azeroth, designed by CoilArt. Gold-plated, protruding 510 pin. You have 0.75 millimeters of pin protrusion, and an overall 510 connection length from the base to the top of the 510 pin of 4.65 millimeters. So yes, this is a hybrid safe. Alright, so here is your top cap. Unfortunately, you have to either use this stainless steel style drip tip or this Delrin drip tip. One thing with the Delrin, you can put your 510 drip tip in here, but it looks stupid as hell, to be honest. Alright, so to fill the tank, just going to grab this. There is no knurling on the top cap, which I wish there was, but there's not. So there is your top cap. Alright, now you have 2 large 12mm by 4.6mm fill ports. As you can see, the top of this chimney section has nice knurling for easy removal. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so here is your chimney section. As you can see on the chimney section, you have the CoilArt logo. The overall height of the chimney section is 26 millimeters. The outside diameter is 18.9 millimeters. And the inside of the chimney has a very nice conical shape in it to help improve flavor. The chimney tapers down to a 6 millimeter exit, which matches the bore of both the stainless and Delrin drip tips. Okay, so that brings us to our decks. I'm not really going to go over the velocity style deck because chances are you know how to build on one already. And to be honest, it's nothing special. It's just your typical velocity style deck. Now this, the 3 coil deck, triple coil deck, this is where all your magic is gonna happen. This deck is 16 millimeters in diameter. So you have 3 air ports in the center here, here, and here. And these air ports measure 5.75 millimeters by 2.8 millimeters. You also have 3 juice flow ports on the outside here, here, and here. And these juice flow ports measure 5 millimeters by 3 millimeters. Your cotton will sit in these 3 ports here, and these 3 ports measure approximately 5 millimeters by 4 millimeters. So here are your coil posts. You have 6 coil posts, and you have a 1.4 millimeter opening for your coil leads. The distance between leads will be 6.5 millimeters. All right, the positive section of this deck is removable. So remove the deck from the base. You can pop this out here. There is your 510 pin. And there is the positive section of your deck. There's the deck, just the negative section. And as you can see, there is a peak insulator on the bottom of the positive section. Alright, so with all that covered, let's go ahead and mount this up in the stand and we'll throw a build in it. Alright, so I went ahead and installed 2 coils in here already, so let's go ahead and install the 3rd. Alright, so what I've been doing, because this is a postless deck design and you're going to have to figure out the proper length of your coil leads, what I've been doing is taking the coil and setting it right here, getting it to about the height I think is right. So I set it pretty much just like that. And then, I know it might be hard to see on camera, and then I'll take my clippers and I will put my clippers right here, right underneath the deck here, in that little gap. And that's where I will cut the length of my coils. So right like that. Now you can take the coil and match up the other side with your clippers and cut the leads on your coil. Alright, so now all you're going to do is grab your coil, insert it in to your post holes, grab your tri-tool or Allen wrench, whatever you're using, and tighten up your post screws. To be honest, this tri-tool is not very good. The end of the tri-tool here tends to round off within your first use. Alright, so once you get your coils mounted up, obviously you're going to want to align them properly. They look pretty decent there. So let's go ahead and throw it on a mod. Glow the coils, make sure everything is in proper working order, and then we'll wick it up. Alright, now that we got them glowing properly, let's go ahead and put some cotton in here. Alright, so as you can see, I already got some cotton in here. I still have 1 coil that we need to wick. And your coils are basically, or your cotton is going to share a wick channel. So you want to make sure you don't use too much cotton, but at the same time, obviously you don't want to use too little because then you might have leaking issues. So basically, you're just going to feed your cotton through your coils like you normally would. Alright, so now what I've been doing is taking the 2 cotton tails here and placing my scissors right here in this channel, right there. Take my scissors, place them there, grab the 2 cottontails, loop them over top of my scissors, and cut. Oh, then I'll comb the cotton out, because you do want this cotton to be a little bit lighter because you're sharing your wicking ports together. Then just take your cotton and tuck it in. Alright, let's repeat on the last one. Alright, and that's pretty much what the triple coil build deck will look like once you have it built and wicked. Go ahead and saturate the cotton. Alright, so now that we have the cotton all nice and saturated, it's time to put the tank back together. Alright, there she is. That's what it looks like with the Delrin chuff cap on it. Alright guys, I'll see you up top. We'll vape it and pros, cons, and final thoughts. Alright, so the build that I just put in here is ohming out at 0.19. I got it at 60 watts. Let's have a vape. Whew. I don't know, boy. Tell you what, let's do pros and cons. So, let's start with cons. First con, drip tips. You have to use these drip tips. You cannot use an 810 style drip tip or a 510 style drip tip. Well, actually, technically, you can put a 510 style drip tip in the Delrin chuff cap, but it looks stupid as shit. So I don't really recommend it just because it's ugly. So the drip tip options is definitely a con. Next con I found on my particular tank, or the 3 coil build deck, is that the 510 pin tends to loosen up. I'm not sure why it's been doing that. No matter how hard I tighten it down, it still loosens up. And I don't know if other people are having this issue or if there's just something wrong with mine. I guess I could try to take the 510 pin out of the velocity deck and throw it on the triple coil deck and see if it still does it. But I just wanted to mention that, let you guys know that I'm having an issue with that. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up the cons. Let's go into pros. So the first pro would definitely be that it comes with 2 build decks. It comes with a velocity style build deck and the triple coil build deck. The velocity style build deck is, well, in my opinion, old news, so I just put it off to the side and I haven't really been using it other than once or twice. The triple coil build deck is a really nice deck, really easy to build on, and it's a definite pro. So that kind of puts us into our next pro, which would be ease of building. If you're intimidated by the triple coil deck, don't be. It's really simple to build on, and if you just don't want to build on it, you have the velocity style deck to build on, and everybody should be able to build on a velocity style deck. They've been around forever. Next pro would be the airflow. It has really generous amounts of airflow, but it's not too much. You're still getting a lightly restrictive lung hit with the airflow wide open. So it's wide open right now. Let's have a vape. Nice, very nice smooth airflow with a little bit of restriction, wide open. Let's turn it down to halfway. So obviously halfway is going to make it a little more restrictive. Very nice vapor production still, and just an overall great vape. So right now I got it turned down to about a quarter of the way all around the board. Let's have a vape. Still good vapor production, a lot hotter of a vape, and definitely a very, very nice restrictive lung hit. So the airflow options on this tank are definitely a pro. Next pro, in my opinion, would be that it holds 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid. As everybody knows, if you've been watching my videos, I hate tanks that hold minimal amounts of e-liquid because you just go through it too quick and you got to refill them way too soon. So holding 4.5 milliliters of e-liquid is definitely a pro. All right, so the next and final pro would be flavor. And I honestly can't believe I'm saying this, but I truly think this is the best RTA on the market right now for flavor. Yes, it beats the reload. It kills the reload. Using the triple coil deck, the reload doesn't even come close to this. Now, if you put the velocity style deck in here, the reload has better flavor. But I'm not using the velocity style deck, and I have no reason to use the velocity style deck because it came with the triple coil deck. So yeah, the flavor is just off the hook. It's absolutely phenomenal. I honestly can't believe it. I did not think the flavor would be this great on this tank, but it truly is. And that's definitely a major, major pro. All right, guys, so with all that said, that pretty much wraps up the review on the Azeroth by CoilArt. I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate my subscribers. The channel is continuing to grow. Like I said before, if you want to see something different or want to see something reviewed, put it in the comments and let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hang around for more. And as always, vape on.